What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dark Souls 2 walkthrough. So where we're headed now is a brand new area. One thing I want to take care of first is a little bit of housekeeping. In the last episode, we leveled up our stats enough to equip a miracle. So I want to attune spells. We're going to go to the heal miracle. You see we need 12 faith for that. We got 12 faith in the last episode. So now that we've attuned it, it appears in the up slot on our bar. And again, we needed 10 attunement to get that first attunement slot. So for our equipment, what we need to do is equip a chime to be able to use the miracle. We got a chime at the very beginning of the game. And one thing about this game is chimes and staffs. So chimes are used to cast miracles. Staffs are used to cast sorceries. And they can be upgraded with Titanite, just like your weapons can. So if you're going for a spell type build, you're going to be wanting to upgrade either your chime or your staff or both or whatever it is that you're using with those Titanite, because it'll make your stuff more powerful. So just to demonstrate, if you equip your chime in whichever hand you have it equipped and press the corresponding button, either L1 or R1, you can use the heal miracle. So the rest of the bonfire, it restores your usages. You see we have 3 heals and we can use it so up 3 times until we rest. Or alternatively, if you want to use an item, we have these amber herbs that slightly restore your spell usages as well. You may have noticed there's this giant pit in the middle of Majula that I haven't really talked about yet. There is an area beyond here. I wouldn't suggest exploring it yet. To get down there, you're actually going to need to buy the cat's ring from the merchant over there, and that will reduce your fall damage. Otherwise, you won't be able to get down there yet. I wouldn't suggest it. We will be going there later, but I just wanted to point that out just in case you were wondering. As for now, we're going to go through here to the next area. Go straight through. And we're going to have a treasure chest up on our left here. It's going to contain a shield that we will not be using. Got the Crimson Parma. And up here, kind of hard to see, but this is a kind of a lever we can pull to drain the water. Or no, it doesn't drain the water. It just opens up this gate that we can get through. And straight ahead, Soul of a Lost Undead and Broken Thief Sword. And this takes us to Heide's Tower of Flame. So this is actually an enemy. He is not hostile to us right now, but will become hostile when we kill the boss. You can aggro him. He's tough. I wouldn't recommend doing this now because we're about to get to a bonfire. He is parryable. And that's actually how I prefer to fight these guys, is by parries, because they are tough to fight. Otherwise, they hit really hard. I'm just demonstrating that that is an enemy. And he's not hostile yet, but as I said, will become hostile later. So we're going to run past this guy, get our bonfire real quick for safety in case we die. And these guys look really intimidating, but they're not so bad. As long as you can circle around behind them, they are really slow. And they don't have as much HP as you think. You see I've got my sword out, or my shield out rather. And that's in case I do get hit by his attack while I was in the middle of my combo there. But you see, I'm doing really good damage. And since that was kind of sloppy, I'm going to go ahead and rest. It will respawn that one enemy, but it'll give my Estus and HP back, and we're going to fight him again up here. As I mentioned before, if you kill these enemies 12 times via, you know, defeating them and then respawning, or resting at a bonfire rather, if you kill these enemies 12 times, they're going to stop respawning unless you're part of the Champions Covenant. So here we have another Heide Knight. We're not going to be fighting them until they actually become hostile towards us. And this guy's got a hammer. This is actually going to be the weapon that we're going to be using much later in the playthrough. And these guys actually have a chance of dropping it. But as I said, since I'm not going to be using RNG for my equipment, that I'm using in this playthrough, there's actually a guaranteed pickup later on in the game, much later in the game. Got that soul item and a human effigy over there. Got another big boy over here. Just making sure there's not two of them. All right, there we go. So you come forward. Just be careful not to fall off. So shield up. Then try to get behind if you can. There we go. That's the way to do this, is to get behind them. Shield up while they're attacking, and they go down pretty easy. They're definitely more bark than bite. So we got some Lloyd's talismans here. And since we defeated him, we now have access to pull this lever. And what that's going to do, that's the boss arena right ahead of us. And pulling the lever adds additional space to fight him. Otherwise, if you don't pull this lever and another one later, you're going to risk falling into the water, which if you pull all the levers, then the arena expands to which, you know, you can't really fall off of it. So, all right, so this part is a bit tricky. Not going to lie, there's 3 of the knights in here, and you don't want to be fighting them all at the same time. The problem is if you aggro one of them, you pretty much aggro all of them. So I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to take shots with my bow while this one's walking at me. And it'll get most of his health down. Take one more shot. Then I'll just fight him over here. Get my shield out. And you want to be careful because you don't want to roll off the edge. This is not an ideal place to be fighting. You can bring him down here if you're worried about falling off the edge. I'm just going to fight him right here. Got that shield up. And you see this thing hits really hard. And I mistimed my roll there. But took him out since I got most of his health down anyways with my bow and arrow. So now these other ones are coming out. And you see that another switch just went up over there. And these other 2 are coming towards me at the same time, which can be a bit dicey. And we'll see. It's better, especially since we got 2 of them down here, fight them down here. So what I want to do is like bait one of their attack animations and then let the other one, see if I can get a little bit of spacing here. And they're not really cooperating with me, unfortunately. Finish this combo, get a few hits. I'm just trying to be very careful. You really want to, you know, play it safe. You can get you some space and then start shooting arrows. I mean, eventually I would run out of arrows if I did it that way. I should buy more. And I'm just going to kind of kite them back. And as soon as I get any semblance of spacing, I'm just going to get my attacks in and say I've already got one of them down. So kind of a tricky situation to navigate, and my rolls are not on point. I don't have my full iframes, and I'm acting like I do. I should be using my shield more. It sort of is. It's kind of habit. All right, so we got the 3 knights, and we can pull another lever here. So yeah, better than running in here and having all 3 of them on you at once in kind of an enclosed space. So I would not recommend that approach. So this is going to give us more space to fight. And then what we're going to do is go down these stairs here to the right. There's another spot over there. We're actually going to come back here later and take on that portion of this area. For now, we're just focused on this part, because this is getting us to where we want to go for story purposes. And does this Heide Knight aggro? He does not. But he's blocking a chest that we want. So I'll go on and take on this guy. Shield up, and I should not have rolled there. I should just use my shield. Wait, when you're blocking with your shield, you want to make sure that you do not run out of stamina. There we go. I'm going to use life gems here because I want to save my Estus flasks for the boss fight. This boss is actually really easy, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. One of the easiest bosses in the game. I'm going to lure this Heide Knight over because I want to get to that treasure chest. And as I said, after we kill the boss, they're going to start aggroing to us anyways. But, so that is his kind of dash attack. That's a really powerful attack. You want to stay away from him when he kind of pauses like that. And I'm going to try fighting him without parries here just to show that it can be done. You can get backstabs on him too. You don't have to parry these guys. I just like to parry them. Well, their animations can be a bit kind of jerky. It's hard to anticipate like when they're actually going to move. So there I got a backstab. Works very well on them, just like parries. I do prefer to parry them, but I'm trying to demonstrate here that you don't have to parry them to kill them. So get that health up. And then it looks like, you know, you're going to fall if you try to cross over there, but it is crossable. All right, so we got the Ring of Binding. What this does is when you go hollow, or when you start to hollow, this caps your HP loss at 75% rather than 50%. So it makes it so your HP loss is not going to be as drastic if you're dying repetitively. And I did equip the Ring of Blades at the end of the previous episode. This increases your attack power slightly. And here we're going to fight the Dragonrider. Very easy boss. Just kind of circle to his right. It's very similar to the Pursuer. You see I've got my shield up, and I'm going to see if I can kind of get behind him. And just kind of strafe to your right. And you see he, most of his attacks kind of miss. And we're doing a ton of damage to him. So I should have had my shield up there, but I didn't. My Estus flask on. Wait for him to attack. And I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity. As soon as he's done with this combo here, use this opportunity to heal. Shield back up. Shield back up. Nope, he blocked my attack there. Wait for him to attack. Get a couple hits in here. Doing pretty crazy damage here. Took a shot there, but not too big of a deal. Shield up. Keep the shield up here. Wait for him to attack again. And I'm being really conservative. Waiting for, you know, obvious openings when I don't really need to. I could probably kill him right here. And I will. I'm tired of waiting around. There we go. Got the Dragonrider soul. And we are actually going to use that soul. Do not consume it. We're actually, if you're following along with my build, we're actually going to use that soul for a weapon a bit later. All right, and up here, we've got ourselves another bonfire. And this is an NPC that we need. Do not kill her. We need her to go back to Majula for a trophy.
Are you from these parts? My name is Licia. I have come to spread the art of miracles. I can see that you are but the cost of it.
So she sells miracles and a chime. And this ring increases your faith. Sells several miracles. And she is going to be an NPC in Majula that we're going to need to talk to access another area. She has this key that she charges a toll to use to get to the next spot. If you kill her now, you pick up the key and can use it for free. But again, for the trophy, I suggest not killing her so that way we can get the trophy for having all these NPCs back in Majula.
I'd heard awful rumors about this place. The king, gone. The earth, ravaged. I fear that by now. Why did I come? Do I need any other reason? My preceptor always, and such. No need for me.
And also when we get up to 30 faith, she will give us some equipment. So I'm going to go on and rest. And since we do have quite a few souls, I'm going to travel to Majula. Just so we don't risk losing these souls that we've worked so hard.
Bearer, seek lest that.
So as I said, we are working towards 8 intelligence because there's a mirror, or there's a rather a NPC in the next area that we need 8 intelligence for. Otherwise, he won't speak to us, and we need him to go back to Majula for the trophy. I'm gonna put some points into ADP to see if I can get my agility up. And at this point, yeah, I'll put some into strength as well. We are working towards that 20 strength so we can use the craftsman hammer one-handed. Not quite there yet, but we're getting there. And I'm going to use what I have left to buy some more arrows. I suggest you do the same. We'll be using arrows in the next area.
I knew.
I'll go on and buy 210. That'll keep us nice and stocked up for a while.
I'll be around.
And so we'll travel back. And proceed. We're going to go down these stairs. There's an item down here. Monastery charm. These cure poison and restore HP. So we got an enemy, another giant over here. Shield up in case he hits you. And pretty easy to kill though. So all the way at the end here. Human effigy and dark troches. Soul of Proud Knight. And Old Knight's Halberd. All right, so now we're going to go to the left, and there's going to be an intimidating looking enemy, but not too bad. You can get behind him and do backstabs pretty easily. Did not even have to work hard for that. We'll get him as he gets up. There we go. See if he drops anything. Nope. And in here, we have our first Sublime Bone Dust. And this is another Estus Flask type item that powers up your Estus Flask. Unlike the Estus Flask Shard, instead of giving you an extra usage, it makes each usage more potent. It restores, each usage of your Estus Flask will restore more health. And then that's where we came from. So now we want to go this way, and there's an elevator that we're going to take down. It's a long ride. Couple hollows down here. And a basilisk. I think this is our first basilisk. And much like in Dark Souls 1, these things do inflict curse if you stand in their mist, if they shoot it out at you. However, curse is not an instant death in this game like it is in Dark Souls 1. It just makes you hollow, basically. So here we have a statue. We can use a fragrant branch of yore. We are going to use our first fragrant branch of yore here. We have 2 of them, I believe. And we're using our first one here. So this will turn into a hollow. We're actually going to have to defeat him to get past. So as I said before, only use those fragrant branches when I say to. There is a very specific order that we're going to use them in to make sure that kind of the route that we take is as optimal as possible. Got a giant woolly mammoth guy here. So shield up and attack when you have an opening. These guys are a little bit beefier than the kind of golems we were fighting earlier. But not too bad if you approach it cautiously. All right. Now on the railing, we have ourselves an Estus Flask Shard. So we got Sublime Bone Dust and an Estus Flask Shard. So we're going to be able to beef up our flask quite a bit here. All right. Got some more armor. And all the way in here, this is our progression route to the next area. In this little sneak peek, this takes us to No Man's Wharf. So did I just go backwards? I think I got turned around. Yeah, I sure did. My bad. There we go. This is No Man's Wharf, the next major area we're going to tackle. I know this episode's a little bit on the shorter side, but this is a nice break point because I want to get through this next area all in one episode. So I don't want to do part of it now and then do part of it later. So I'm going to go on and go back to Majula. We're going to level up our flask because we got some items, and then we're going to go ahead and call it. Because I want to get through all of No Man's Wharf in one episode. Just for continuity's sake. Put it in one self-contained episode. So our Sublime Bone Dust, the way that you use those is you have to go to the bonfire at Majula and hit burn. And you can burn a Sublime Bone Dust and it will power up your Estus flask. And so now you see we have an Estus flask +1. That +1 means each usage of the flask is going to restore more health than it did before.
Is that a shard? Here to see light.
We also have a shard. So we're going to get us ourselves our 5th usage in the Estus flask. Very nice. And we're going to level up. So let's see. Might as well put this into strength or ADP. 92 ADP does get us that extra iframe. So I think I'm going to go with ADP on this one. Because as I said, I do want that 20 strength to use as a craftsman hammer one-handed. But we're not going to switch to the craftsman hammer until it outdoes the fire longsword in damage, which it may not do that until we upgrade it 1 or maybe 2 more times. We'll see. But anyways, as I said, that's going to do it for now. Again, a little bit of a short episode, but again, this is a pretty natural break point, I would say. So we can tackle all of No Man's Wharf next time. So that next episode is probably going to be a bit longer than the last couple have been. So we're going to have ourselves a lot of fun. Really appreciate y'all. And make sure you stay tuned for some more. Catch you later.